You're listening to the DolphinsTalk.com podcast, the longest-running Miami Dolphins podcast on the internet.
We're always in control. And when you say Miami, you're talking cerebral. Cause we're the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins #1.
Hello, Miami Dolphins fans. How are you today? And thank you for listening to the DolphinsTalk.com podcast, our 2025 season preview roundtable show. Minus one person this year. Biggie, Ian Berger, we're thinking about you for sure. Wish you were here. Hope you'll be here next year with us on the show. It's not the same without you. So we're thinking about you. But myself, Mike Oliva, Josh Katzker, Tom Ernest, Aaron, the Brain Katzker. Gentlemen, how are you doing today? Someone speak.
Not everybody all at once. Everybody, calm down, guys. Calm down. Relax. You guys are too fired up for football.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm doing great. We got a roster, and the Miami Dolphins are getting ready to play some live football next Sunday against the Colts. Can't be more excited for the NFL season to be back, though.
I've got to say there is no greater set of words to get me fired up for the Miami Dolphins 2025 season than we got a roster.
We got a roster.
That's right. Right.
We have 53 players on the active roster.
Why not?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. I'm feeling good over here. I echo the sentiments of Tom and I'm sure Josh. Look, at the end of the day, whether your team is good, bad, or mediocre, it's still football, and it's football season.
Yes. It's football season. It's going to be meaningful football, at least for the first month and a half or so of the season. It's going to be meaningful football games, and we're really excited about that. And like I say every year, when we watch preseason, it's preseason games. They don't mean anything, but it's your team out there playing football. And that gets me fired up no matter what. So whoever it is that's out there wearing the aqua and orange, I'm fired up. So let's go.
Yep, absolutely. And before we get into the show, let's take care of some of the business as always. First off, this show tonight's brought to you by Caneswear. Everyone go to the website caneswear.com for the best Miami Dolphins apparel on the internet. If you're in South Florida, stop by their store at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, Florida. Caneswear. If you need a Miami Dolphins, if you need a hat, hoodie, jersey, shorts, something for the home, something for the car with the Miami Dolphins logo on it, Caneswear.com is the place to go. They also got stuff for the Miami Hurricanes, the Florida Panthers, the Miami Heat, the Miami Marlins. It's the most affordable Miami Dolphins apparel on the internet. The first place you should go if you need anything for the Miami Dolphins with a logo on it is Caneswear.com. Also, for those of you watching us on YouTube, do us a favor. Smash that like button. Smash it right now at the top of the show. Get it out of the way. And also make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss a show. We have shows pretty much now every day of the week. So you're going to not want to miss an episode there. Also, Dolphins Talk Extra. If you haven't signed up, this is your time. Why? We have a little sale going on. The first month is $1. Go to patreon.com/DolphinsTalk. Use the promo code DTX1. You get access to a private message board. You get access to extra podcasts, some about the Dolphins, some not about the Dolphins. You can enter all of our games for free where we give away cool prizes like Jalen, a Jarvis Landry autograph helmet, a Cam Wake autographed mini helmet. We got a Dwight Stevenson full-size replica Alabama helmet from when they won the national championship. So we got really cool prizes, but you got to sign up at patreon.com/DT. Let me say that again, patreon.com/Dolphins Talk, promo code DTX1. And before we get into all the fun and games, it's August 27th, and that means just want to take a second here to remember it was 3 years ago today that this website and myself and Tom, we lost a very close friend, and Jason Jenkins, who worked for the Miami Dolphins in their media field there. You know, he hired me to write for MiamiDolphins.com for a year. He was a very close friend to myself and this website and a big supporter of this website for many years. I think about him all the time and about his wife and his children. So I just want to take a moment here at the top to mention that he was a great man and he was great for the South Florida community, and he is missed each and every day. So we will never forget Jason Jenkins on this 3 years since his passing. He went far too young.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's get to some of the news of the day. There's a few things. Kendall Lamb back with the Dolphins. Jeff Wilson back with the Dolphins. Cam Smith, shocking, I know, is on the NFI non-football injury list, so you won't see him anytime soon, I guess. And Miami Dolphins put in one waiver claim for Juju Brents, the cornerback. He was a second-round pick of the Colts in 2023. He's been injured, and, if healthy, he can actually play a little bit. So, Aaron, any of those things there you want to sort of comment on? Lamb, Wilson, Juju Brents, or Cam Smith?
Well, I mean, the one that jumps out at me is Cam Smith, because it's like, they've been talking this guy up like, he's really like, even in the presser, I think Chris Greer mentioned that he played his best football in the last 2 weeks of the preseason. Yep. So I don't know exactly what's going on there. I don't know what the injury is. I guess they don't have to disclose it. It's disappointing, but look, at the end of the day, it's Cam Smith. And Cam Smith probably doesn't even make the roster if we weren't so bereft of talent at cornerback to begin with. The other one that jumps out at me is Kendall Lamb. Glad to have Kendall Lamb back because I think he's probably better than Larry Borum. But I think that's more of an indictment on Larry Borum than it is an endorsement of Kendall Lamb at this stage of his career. I don't think he's got anything left. But look, you're not going to find good offensive linemen available at this time of year because good offensive linemen don't get cut at this time of year.
Tom, you're a big running back guy. Jeff Wilson's back. What are your thoughts there?
Yay, I guess. I mean, look, nothing says status quo like Miami Dolphins bringing back Jeff Wilson Jr. instead of going after maybe somebody else. You go 8 and 9. Guys that you bring in back are part of that 8 and 9 team, right? You're not shaking the tree, so to speak. You're not bringing in new potential talent. You're bringing in guys that are just retreads. And what did Jeff Wilson Jr. do last year? Nothing, right? He did absolutely nothing for this football team. And it seemed like he was happy to be out of Miami. And the fact that he's back, maybe they just need him for a few weeks while Jalen Wright gets himself better.
That's all it is. That's all it is, Tom.
But at the end of the day, find me some fresh blood, right? You're going to have Ollie Gordon backing up Devon Achane in week 1. I like that. Someone other than Jeff Wilson Jr. But anyway, Kendall Lamb coming back. He knows the system. That's fine. Again, I agree with Aaron. It's not a ringing endorsement for Kendall Lamb when Larry Borum is the guy that you had to beat out for the position. But they paid Borum a couple $1 million, so he's got to stick around. The Cam Smith thing, it kind of is a head scratcher, right? Did anyone see him get hurt in the final preseason game?
He wasn't hurt on the field. This is NFI. It means you're hurt away from the facility.
What the hell was he doing? What the hell was he doing to get hurt at this stage going into the regular season that now he's got to be on the NFI list? If it's not one thing, it's another. It reminds me of a young Devontae Parker, right? Who just couldn't put football first. He does everything else except put football first. And Cam Smith is, if it wasn't official a year and a half ago, it is official now. He is an absolute bust and a terrible second-round draft pick of Chris Greer, and that will go down to the record books as another whiff.
Josh, I want you to give us an in-depth analysis of Juju Brents. Go.
He's on the team.
Here we go.
He now plays for the Miami Dolphins.
That's why you're the best in the business.
And here's the analysis. The analysis is when you're a team that is shopping in the reject bin from all of the other teams to try to improve the worst unit on your team, that's a problem, right? I mean, and the Colts already have 2 Miami Dolphins rejects on their team in the secondary. So now they've cut somebody who the Dolphins have gone out to go get. Listen, if you just look at this roster right now and you compare it to the roster that the Dolphins had at the end of last season, it is an indictment in the highest order of Chris Grier that there are so many of the same names still on this roster. It's a mess. So that's what I have. Yeah. That's my in-depth analysis.
I will. Let me chime in real quick. I will say this, Josh. He let the cat out of the bag today.
He did. Stepped up.
He said word. He said the word reset, and that was not said the entire offseason. And he let it slip today that we understand that we had to have a reset. Well, you just told your fans exactly the plan, even though most fans already knew that this was going to be what the team was going to look like this year. But he let the cat out of the bag officially now. So here we are.
Yeah, it is a financial reset, and they're trying to get things set up for whatever. Like I said, they're clearing the decks. This year is all about clearing the decks because, listen, at the end of the day, if this team doesn't win a playoff game this year, there's some people going to lose their job, and I'm not going to feel bad about it.
No, I just don't know if the general manager be one of those people, unfortunately, though. I mean, this guy...
He's going to lose his job and get another one. But,
he's going to get promoted up, if anything, because he is the master of self-preservation. And what he said today wasn't necessarily wrong. Look, we had to get younger. We had to clear out money, which is fine and good. But when you go 25 years without winning a playoff game, and when you're telling people, it's not a reset, then, you say it, even though he probably didn't mean to, and he tried to walk it back real quick afterwards. It's like, look, I understand there's some fans out there and some fans are going to watch this tonight and be like, you guys are really negative about this team and that's fine. Everyone's entitled to fan their own way and have their own opinion about this roster in this upcoming season. Everyone's entitled to that. But like you said, Josh, this roster is significantly worse than it was last year. I see fans on social media saying that the offensive line's improved. How? You lost your best lineman. I know he was always hurt. You went from Armstead to Paul. That's a downgrade. Even though we hope Paul's going to be good and hope he's going to be good long-term, that's a downgrade. At left guard, you're starting a rookie, and he's going to have your typical rookie mistakes at times, and that's fine, but, it's not the same. Then if you go to the other side of the line, they lost a guy who was the anchor of their defense last year in Campbell, and they're replacing him with rookies. Don't tell me that side is improved on that line when you have rookies in there now. So, and of course they got worse in the secondary, which is almost impossible because they weren't that great last year there. So yeah, I mean, this season we're going to talk about it, but I think how we got here is they had to get younger because they had way too many injuries and way too many old guys. And also the salary cap was, starting to get out of control, and they had to not spend. The first thing he said today, Chris Grier, was, I was not told by Mr. Ross not to spend money this year. I'll take him at his word there because I actually believe it, because this guy, I think, knows he's got a job for life type of deal, and he's playing a long game.
My mom didn't tell me what to do. Please don't let anybody think that my mom told me what to do.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
She did not pick out this outfit for me.
No. So, yeah, that's where we are. And that will lead us to our season predictions. And, in previous years here, we've all been very high on this team. 10, 11, 12 wins we have predicted. This year, not so much. Aaron the Brain and Tom are both at 8 and 9. Josh is the ultimate hater at 6 and 11. Although I have to be honest, I was at 6-11 too, but I have caved. I am a big phony. I had all off season. I said week 1, we got no chance of winning. But over the course of these months, I've let you fans, the listeners, tell me we're not losing to Indianapolis week 1. So I caved. I went with 7 and 10, and I got us winning week 1. We all have them winning week 1, except for Aaron the Brain, who might look like a genius here in about 10 days. Aaron, why do you have the Colts winning week 1?
I went back and forth on this. like over and over and over and over. And what it comes down to is just like there's so many injury questions, and it's a road game. I think you had mentioned before, I don't know if you mentioned it off the air or on a show about how, it's going to be a tribute to Jim Irsay, and
it's a big deal.
Going to be fired up. I think the fact that Indianapolis is going to start a real quarterback in Daniel Jones and not Anthony Richardson, I think is better for them. I think the game could go either way. I think it's an absolute coin flip. It's just right now, without knowing the health status of, Devon Achane, really even Austin Jackson, knowing that we're going to we're going to be starting a kicker that we just signed off the scrap heap because Jason Sanders is out. It's just, there's too many bad vibes going on right now with the Dolphins for me to pick them to win a road game in a coin flip game.
Yeah, I totally agree. That game could go either way because I think those teams are, and I know some fans aren't going to like this or probably agree. They're virtually the same type of team. They're a team that's like middle of the pack, at best 6 or 7 seed as a wild card. That's at best in a tough AFC. So week 1 is that. Now week 2, I was the turd in the punch bowl. I got the Patriots, heading to Miami and winning. Why? Because I can't see this team winning 2 in a row to start the season, number 1. Number 2, who's their head coach in New England? Mike Vrabel. Every time, the past 2 times he took a team to South Florida, he's whooped up on the Dolphins. There's that. And it would be so Dolphins to start 1-0 on the road with a win and then come home and have a huge letdown that this game. So I went with New England week 2. Everyone else took Miami. Week 3, we all took the Bills. First off, it's the Bills. We never win. Second, it's a short week on a Thursday night. The Bills are going to be wearing their rivals' uniforms. I guess that will have the guys a little excited if they like them, I guess. I don't know. Either way, we never beat the Bills. Let me phrase it this way, though, Tom. If we ever went to Buffalo week 3, short week, and won, I don't care what happens week 1 and 2. We could be 0-2. If we go to Buffalo week 3 and 1, would that be something that could be a turn around your whole season type of moment here? Like, we got the monkey off our back. We beat a team that's good on the road on a short week, who's our rival, who we never beat. Would that put a bolt of lightning into this organization maybe to sort of put them on a run afterwards?
You would think that would be the case. You go back, all the way back to 2008, the Dolphins started 0-2 and they traveled to New England and they busted out the Wildcat in that game and pummeled the Patriots. And what happened after that moment? The Dolphins ended up going on a nice run. Obviously, they got to 11 wins that year, made the playoffs, won the division. Not saying that could be the case here, but you give the team confidence. You give the team hope that it's like, man, we lost to the Colts, we lost to the Patriots, but then you go into Buffalo and however you win, you pull a win out against the Bills. Let the chips fall where they may. The team will be playing with ridiculous confidence the following week against the Jets at home. So I think it could springboard a lot for the season if they can find a way to beat Buffalo. They did it in 2022 in that game down in Miami when they struggled against the Bills. They pulled that win out in the heat. Obviously, we know what happened the following week, but one way or the other, the Dolphins had a good year in 2022 overall. So a lot can change with one game. Take it a game at a time, but going into Buffalo will be a blessing, especially living in Western New York. For the love of God, please beat this team once.
Yeah, it'd be nice. I'm not holding my breath, though.
No, definitely not holding my breath.
Week 4, Jets, Monday Night Football. We all got them winning. At home, the Jets. Even if they're 0-3 at that point, I think the Jets at home Monday night would be a nice week to get well. But I don't think they'll be 0-3 by then. Next week they're at the Panthers. Panthers are sneaky good. We all have them winning versus the Panthers. After that, they host Justin Herbert and the Chargers at home. And I am on here with 3 haters and 3 people who love Justin Herbert because I was the only one to pick the Miami Dolphins to beat the Chargers. You guys are just up Herbert's. You know what? You're up his fanny, drinking his bathwater. I'm the only one who supports Tua, I guess. I'm the only one who supports Tua. So you guys are going to pick your Chargers, and Jim Harbaugh, that cheater who screwed over Michigan, got him a huge fine. You guys can all pick the Chargers. I'm team Tua. Next week is the Browns. Here's the deal. Josh, what's the odds when we play the Browns, we're facing Joe Flacco and we're not facing one of the rookie quarterbacks?
I'd have to look at the Browns.
It's impossible, their schedule. It's like the hardest schedule the first 8 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty brutal ride for them, but I think as long as Flacco isn't like, I think it's early enough in the season that even if it's going, largely off the rails, that unless they're just like completely unable to move the football at all with Joe Flacco, I think he's still going to probably be there. Because again, if that first part of the schedule is so brutal, why do you want to expose Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders to that?
But when they play Miami, it gets less brutal, and that's when you put them in.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So let that be the Dylan Gabriel game.
Yeah, and not to mention, like, we're talking about the Browns took Gabriel in the 3rd round and they took Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round, and they're probably going to be picking in the top 5, if not having the number 1
they're full on
tank
tank
again.
Season.
So they need to figure out what they've got there. So like Flacco might get 4 games, but then they've got to throw the young guys in there just to see what they've got, because they're in an evaluation stage.
Yep.
It's call it what it is. It's a tank season.
Here's who the Browns play before Miami. Get ready for this schedule. If we had this schedule, I'd cry. Cincinnati at home, at the Ravens. Green Bay at home, at the Lions. Minnesota in the UK. No bye week. Come back at Pittsburgh. So you go from a UK game to a road game at Pittsburgh. The first 6 games, then they play Miami. They're 0-6, folks. Miami game. They ain't beating the Packers, Lions. They ain't beating the Ravens.
The Dolphins are the soft part of their schedule.
That's
Dolphins
what I'm saying.
are their Super Bowl.
That's the week where I think they put in a nice. That's where they make a quarterback change, and they go, okay, now you're not going up. But yeah, exactly. So that's why I say that, and that is a total under this year at like 5.5 or something. They ain't winning that many games. Let's see who's after that. Atlanta. Tom, this is a surprise. We have a split here. Myself and Josh, we are supporting the Dirty Birds that week. We have Atlanta winning. Tom,
I'm not supporting the Dirty Birds. I just think they're going to win.
You know what I mean. We're supporting them with our picks that week. We think Atlanta's going to win. I just see it as a game where that's your letdown game. Like, really, we lost to Atlanta. And Tom and Aaron have Miami winning. Josh, why did you pick Atlanta?
Well, I think by this point we're in what? This is week 8 of the season.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, week 8 of the season. By this point, the injuries are starting to mount. By this point, either one of our key players on the defensive line is going to be missing at least. Maybe the quarterback is missing as well. I think this is it's the middle of the season, and this is the time where things start to go off the rails. I also think that, the Falcons are a tough physical team there with Raheem Morris. I just think that that's a good unit. And I think that, I don't know. I just, it in my brain, it feels like, yep, this feels like the turning point in the season where things are going to start to go off the rails. I should point out that at this point of the season, coming into this game, I've got the Dolphins at 5-2 at this point. Which means that they've won some tough games, and this is where they go on the road in a game where you really think that this is the kind of game that the Dolphins, with 5-2 record, they should be able to win in Atlanta. It's a climate control, everything is set, it's in a dome, it's inside, everything's going to work out great, and then they go and they poop the bed, and they come up with a stupid loss.
Remind me again, how many wins did you have the Dolphins finishing this season with?
6. He's got,
and you've got them at 5-2.
Yep.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. You kind of know it's coming up. So, okay, we're through the first 8 weeks. And this is a part of the schedule where if Miami has any hope of making a run, getting a wild card spot, even if they don't win a playoff game, just sort of sneaking in, they got to win a lot of games out of those first 8. Because after this week, business picks up, as someone once famously said. Ravens at home Thursday night. We all have them losing to the Ravens at home. I just think we all think, the Ravens are on a whole different level than Miami. And I talk about a physical team. Bing, bang, boom. That's the Ravens. Then they got at home versus the Bills, who, again, whole different level than Miami. We all got the Bills. If we have them, I think we all have them sweeping Miami. We do. And then we go to Madrid. And in Madrid, they play the Washington Commanders. And Aaron the Brain has the Dolphins beating Washington. The only one, standing alone, standing on an island. Aaron, why will Miami beat Washington in Madrid?
Because they're the Dolphins and they can't suck. They can't just have the bottom drop out. There's going to be a point in the season where you're excited. Then it's going to be like a roller coaster. There's going to be a point in the season where you're excited. Then there's going to be a point in the time where you're disappointed. I have them starting, 5-3, and then we're all going to be pumped up. We got to rewrite the narratives, back-to-back games against Baltimore and Buffalo. Then they're going to lose and probably lose badly, and everybody's going to be down on them. And then when they go to Madrid and they beat Washington, and spoiler alert, they've got New Orleans coming up next, so you know what's going to happen. Everybody's back on the bandwagon. They beat a playoff team. They beat a playoff team. We know how this story ends.
Yeah. Then after that, Spain, we have a bye week. We didn't do something crazy like the Browns and then schedule a road game. We have a bye week after our trip overseas. Home against the Saints. We all have Miami winning. The Saints, to me, will be having the first pick of the NFL draft next year. They are beyond bad. I mean, that is by far the worst team in the NFL this year, the Saints. So I think that's one where I don't care what our record is. We're going to beat the Saints at home, and we're probably going to win that game easily. That's like the only game I feel confident saying that this year. Then the Jets on the road. Myself and Tom picked Miami, and those two Jets lovers, Aaron and Josh, picked the Jets. Boys, don't sing your song this year that week.
We're famously, Aaron and I are Jets lovers. Quite famously.
Yes, quite famously. Yeah. So Justin Fields in that week might have a big day if he's even playing. Then we got Pittsburgh on Monday night at Pittsburgh. We all picked Pittsburgh. These next three games: Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Tampa Bay. Miami better have their secondary somewhat healthy, and even if it is healthy, I don't know if it's going to matter. Those are three wide receiver heavy teams with Metcalf and all those guys in Pittsburgh. Cincinnati, Chase, Higgins, and then Tampa Bay's got like three guys who can play if they're healthy. So we all have Pittsburgh winning. We all have Cincinnati winning. Tampa Bay, Aaron the Brain, again, standing alone. Having Miami beating Tampa Bay at home. Is Tampa Bay going to have a lot of injuries to their wide receivers that week? Is that your prediction here?
Look, there were a lot of games. I would say there were a handful of games that I went back and forth on. The home game before Tampa Bay against Cincinnati, while yes, major issues for the secondary, also Cincinnati has no defense. So that's going to be like an absolute shootout. It's just one of those things where Dolphins last home game of the season, still dwindling playoff hopes alive. I think Tampa Bay is a better football team than Miami, but I don't think they're appreciably bad. I don't think that Tampa Bay is like some juggernaut team that Miami can't beat at home. Would I be shocked if Tampa Bay beat them? Absolutely not. But, it's the equivalent of you guys picking Atlanta to beat Miami.
Exactly. So, yeah, absolutely. And then week 17, we all or week 18, I'm sorry, we all have the Patriots winning against Miami in Foxborough to end the season. Again, Aaron 8-9, Tom 8-9, I am at 7-10, and Josh is at 6-11. So that's how we got it this year. I just think, again, kind of what we've all said. The roster's just not as good this year overall. And even if you like the guys who start, there's like no depth at most positions. Wide receivers got a little depth. Linebackers got a little depth. Outside of that, it's a lot of young guys playing who are unproven. Even guys like Grant and, on the line up front, unproven guys up there. 3 rookies on that front who are going to probably be in the rotation. They're all unproven. Secondary, a lot of unproven guys there. So, yeah, that's where we got the team this year. Before we go on here to the rest of the show, we'll do some over-unders and stuff. First off, a quick word from our new sponsor, MyBookie. MyBookie, here's the deal. College football's in full swing this week. And then the following week, you got college football and the NFL. If you're going to place any bets this year, mybookie.com. Use a promo code Dolphins, and you can get up to $500, your first $500 fully covered in bets. You make your play, and if it doesn't hit, you get it right back when you opt in using the Bet Back Bonus Token. MyBookie.com. Place your bets this year. This weekend, Notre Dame, Miami's a big game. You got Ohio State versus Texas is a big game. LSU versus Clemson's a big game. Syracuse versus Tennessee is a big game. You got some big matchups this weekend that if you want to bet, go to mybookie.com. Promo code Dolphins. Use the Bet Back Bonus. Your first $500 that you bet is fully covered. Where are you going to beat that? And no other app. So go to mybookie.com, promo code Dolphins with the Bet Back Bonus. Check them out. That's the place to place your bets this year. And throughout the year, they're going to have other promotions like that, which we'll keep you up to date on with our friends at mybookie.com. Okay, guys, let's do some Okay, first thing I want to talk about here first. The odds makers from all these casinos, online casinos, or the guys in Vegas. Mike McDaniel has the lowest odds to be the first head coach fired this year. I think it's like plus 200, like top of the list. Everyone thinks who's the first head coach going to be fired? If you want to bet, Mike McDaniel is that bet. Let's go around real quick. Do you think Mike McDaniel, we all got him under 500, so we all think it's going to be a season where it's not very good. Do you think he gets fired in season at some point? Josh, you first.
Do I think he gets fired in season? No.
Tom?
No.
No,
Aaron?
I think they start too fast. They're going to be in it, so I don't think he gets fired in season.
Yeah, I would tend to agree, but if they start slow with the soft part of the schedule, I think come November-ish, all bets are off then. If they're like 3-7, like all bets are off, then he could be let go at that point. If they get off to a slow start and this gets really ugly at some point, because Mr. Ross is going to hear it, and when he's at Hard Rock Stadium, those games, November into the final month, into December, and he sees a lot of empty seats, he's gonna be angry. Even though they're paid,
he's not going to see empty seats. He's not going to see empty seats.
People will stop going, Josh. People might have already paid for him, but they won't show up.
I also think, and this will, like, I know a lot of people wouldn't agree with this, and it's so hypothetical, it's not really worth arguing about, but if Mike McDaniel if the season's going downhill and you're considering firing him mid-season, I think it gives you an opportunity. Now, it depends on how the season is going downhill, but Anthony Weaver Jr. was kind of a hot coaching name. And part of the logic might be, if you know, like, you've made up your mind in the front office that you're not going to bring back Mike McDaniel next season, well, you can kind of have, well, maybe we need a 5 or 6 game sample of Anthony Weaver Jr. as the interim head coach, just to see what that looks like as sort of like a job interview, because you're going to start looking around next year and you're going to have to put a list together of who you're going to hire if you're going to fire your head coach. And Anthony Weaver Jr. is probably going to be on that list. So would you like to have gotten some sort of sneak peek at what that might look like?
I think you're 100% right. I think, his name's sort of been talked about a lot this past year with the Saints. It was talked about with the Bears. I know the year before it was talked about in Washington. And there's a lot of talk, if they do move on from Mike McDaniel, Weaver's already here. If they let him coach the whole year, McDaniel, I don't want to go to Weaver because he's just an unknown at that point. If they're, like I said, 3-7 and they got 5 games left, or how many games left? 6-7 games left. And Weaver comes in. If they play hard for him, I don't care if they win or not. If they play hard and if they're competitive, that tells me they're playing hard for this guy. There's something there. And that would be like, okay, if you want to move forward with him, I wouldn't love it because I want someone with some experience, but that's just me. But if they play hard for the guy, that tells me something, because when they've made changes in season before, some have worked well and some haven't. And the last guy who they played hard for when they made a change in season was Dan Campbell. So if they play hard for Weaver, that tells me, you know, I'm not saying he's the next guy like Dan Campbell, but he might be too. I'm not saying he's not. So it's more about that, because we know the roster's flawed. We know they probably won't win a lot of games. So if they play hard for this guy and they're like losing by 3 at Pittsburgh or versus Tampa Bay or versus whoever, and he's the head coach, it's like, oh man, he's got these guys playing above their head. That tells me something.
I'll chime in. Even if that's the case, Mike, Ross's MO, just from that past experience, he's not going to hire Weaver.
I don't think
he's going to go to the next young gun, like an Adam Gase, you know, because that's what they decided to do in 2016, is to go to Adam Gase instead of sticking with Dan Campbell. And obviously, you know, in hindsight, Dan Campbell's been a great head coach for Detroit. Detroit has finally turned it around. Detroit is a viable Super Bowl contender. So, and the flip side, now look, the flip side of it there too is in the back of the minds of, let's say, Chris Greer, for instance, who has a lifetime contract. It seems like he may not want to put Anthony Weaver as the head coach of the football team. He may not want to showcase him, because if Anthony Weaver, if the Dolphins fire Mike McDaniel after the season's over, they could interview Anthony Weaver. But if Anthony Weaver leaves and gets a head coaching job, the Dolphins get 2 third-round picks. So that is in the back. That's going to be in the back of the mind of the general manager. If it's not Chris Greer calling the shots, then it's a different story.
Well, hold on. Yeah, they would get 2 third-round picks if he's still the coordinator and he wasn't let go.
Correct. Yes. So, I don't think they're going to get rid of the defensive
I don't think that would happen.
Especially if they do well. If he's got a top 15 defense this year with that secondary outside of Minka Fitzpatrick, if he pulls that together, I'm all ears.
See, I think you promote him. If he does well, you keep him. It's not like he's going to say no to the job. I want to talk to these other teams. He's going to take the job if you promote him to head coach in season. So I think there's that. And plus, I also think, I think with Adam Gase, he was brought here by Tannenbaum. Flores was brought here by Greer. McDaniel was not a guy for Greer. That's someone else, but I don't want to say it here because people take it out of context. That was not a pick by Greer. If he wants Weaver, he'll get him Weaver because he's already here. So I think that is very likely. Again, we'll see. I don't want to spend too much time on this because who knows if it'll happen. But let's get to some over-unders. We always like to do this here at the end. I'll just start at the top and we'll go around. Number of games played for Tua. Over, under 14.5. Josh, you first.
Under.
Aaron.
Yeah, 14.5. That seems high. Under.
Yeah, Tom.
Under.
Every time he gets one big hit, he's out at least 4 games a month with a concussion, even if it's not a concussion. So I would go under as well. Tyreek Hill, over, under 1,600 receiving yards. Josh.
Under.
Aaron.
Under.
Tom.
If the quarterback misses 4 games, it's going to be under.
Yes, I'm going to go over, but it's going to be 1,600 over the course of 2 different teams because you're getting traded in season. Achane, all-purpose yards, over, under 1,400. Josh.
Under.
He was at 14.99 last year for those who are wondering.
Yeah, under.
Aaron.
I just don't think he's going to play enough.
Yeah. Aaron.
If he's healthy, it's over. Because he was over that last year, and I think he's going to have a bigger role this year.
Tom.
And more efficient with his touches too.
Yeah,
over.
I think so too. Over. Okay. I would go over this year. I think I think our head coach is going to run him in the ground, honestly. He's going to throw it to him a ton. He's going to run him a ton. I just think that's his nature. Chop Robinson, over, under 8.5 sacks. Josh.
I'll go over.
Aaron.
I'm going over too. I think he's the biggest beneficiary of having Phillips and Chubb in there is that allows Chop Robinson to be just let loose and brought as a blitzer in so many different ways.
Agree. Tom?
Over, because like you guys said, the guys around him, but I think Anthony Weaver's going to have him rush through like the B gaps. Like he's going to go right through the middle of the line of scrimmage when teams don't expect it. And when teams expect it, you're going to have an edge rusher coming in from the outside like Chubb and Phillips. But I take the over, but I think Chop Robinson's going to have a massive year.
Jalen Waddle's a guy, this is a big year for him too. He gets paid a lot of money, and he, I'm not saying he's been bad, but hasn't been great the past few years. Over under receiving yards, 1,000. Josh?
I'm going to go over on that. I think where he is going to be the beneficiary of is one of the areas where I think the Dolphins have actually truly upgraded their roster is the wide receiver depth. And what I think we've really learned is that combination of Malik Washington and Nick Westbrook-Akine and Taj Washington and D. Eskridge, those guys have the ability to make plays and get open on their own. And so when you've got the other fringe receivers and maybe even Darren Waller, if he ever plays a down of football for the Miami Dolphins, maybe that's an over-under. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself here. But with what those guys are able to do, in getting open and playing game is going to force teams to have to probably play a bit more man or zone than they're comfortable with against the Dolphins. And I think Jalen Waddle in particular is going to be the beneficiary of that. So I think Jalen Waddle is in line to probably lead the team in receiving this year. So give me Waddle over 1,000 yards.
I think over as well. I think he's going to have a little bit of a bounce back. Aaron?
I'm big on Jalen Waddle this year. I think the issues between Tua and Tyreek mean that there's more chemistry between Tua and Waddle. I think that in years past, there's almost been this need and this urge of Tua to lean on Tyreek more than he even should, even though Tyreek is an elite receiver and the best receiver on the team. I think that shift is happening, and I think you'll see Waddle get targeted more. And look, at the end of the day, we're talking about 1,000 yards. Like he's topped 1,000 yards every year except for last year, which was the year that he missed the most time. I think you also had, you had like 6+ games of Snoop Huntley, Tim Boyle, Skylar Thompson.
Tom?
Yeah, he's going over. I agree with everything that Josh said, because you upgraded the wide receiver room enough where teams can't really shade one way or the other with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. Because if you're going to leave one-on-one opportunities for Malik Washington, Nick Westbrook-Akine, and Taj Washington and D. Eskridge underneath, Miami's going to move the sticks a lot because there's going to be so much attention on the other guys. So teams have to pay attention to the guys that aren't Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, which I think will open up those deep shot opportunities again that we sorely missed in 2024, and kind of have more of that look again back from like 22 and 23.
Yep. Now for this next one, it involves Ollie Gordon. And before we talk about Ollie Gordon, shameless plug time. Go to the Dolphins Talk store and get your Ollie Mania t-shirts. The red and yellow, or we got the black and yellow, because the Ollie Mania right now is running wild in South Florida. And the question is, what you going to do when Ollie Mania runs wild on you? Go to DolphinsTalk.com on the right-hand side, or at the bottom if you're on your phone. Go to the Dolphins Dive. It's in there. Go to our shop there, and you can get the Ollie Mania shirts, because Ollie Mania right now is running wild, brother. Okay.
Yeah.
So, over under, Josh, Ollie Gordon rushing yards. Mind you, he really is the second or third string back, and so it's in perspective here. Over under 550 rushing yards.
Smashing the over on that. He'll be the number one. He'll be the RB1 by the end of the season. Book it.
Oh, that's a hot take right there.
Wow.
That's a bold. Look, I like Ollie Gordon. I don't like him that much. Aaron, over under 550 yards.
I'm with you, Mike. I like him, but not that much. But I do like the over here, because I think he has shown enough not just carrying the ball, but also as a pass protector in that last preseason game, that I think he's the number 2 back. I think he's earned it. He's looked good. And I think if he's the number 2 back to Devon Achane being the number 1, I don't know that Devon Achane is going to carry the ball more than like 15 times a game. And you're certainly going to run the ball more than 15 times a game. So I think the opportunity is there. The talent is there. Give me the over. I don't know about leading the team in rushing, but give me the over.
Tom, where are you on Ali Mania?
Oh, running wild, brother. You're telling me for 550 yards that he's got to rush for 35, 36 yards a game over a course of 17 games if he plays.
Yeah, but there are going to be some games, he has like 10. I mean,
he'll get 10 yards on his first series. He's going to smash the over.
Yeah, we drafted.
Listen to Tom, folks. Listen to Tom. This is good stuff here. This is exactly correct.
He is going to carry the rock. Devon Achane, what you saw last year with him is that he became more of that receiving back. He became more of that dual threat that they brought him here for. And you're going to see him get split out like a wide receiver. He's going to line up in the slot over a linebacker, slow linebacker that's not going to keep up with 4.3 speed like that. And Devon Achane can catch the football. What's that going to do? It's going to take the focus and go, especially if you have both backs on the field, you're going to have Devon Achane line up in the slot and Ollie Gordon next to the quarterback. Ollie Gordon's going to have I think he's going to have a good year, and I'll put out a bold prediction. I think he's going to lead the running back room in total touchdowns this season.
Wow. Okay. Now look, I've said this on the show last week with Tom on the post-game wrap-up show he did. I will be traveling down to South Florida with Tom for the Chargers game in October. And Tom has this knack. He always buys a jersey, although last year he didn't. And whoever jersey he buys, that player either gets hurt, he's either out for the season, he's either off the team within a year. Like, he's killed Mika Fitzpatrick. He's killed our quarterback over and over again.
He's back.
He's back, yeah. You only bought the jersey 6 years ago. He's finally back now. So it's like, look, here's the deal. When we're in that store this year, if you try to buy an Ollie Gordon jersey, I'm going to physically hit you, just so you know. I'm not letting you buy it. You cannot ruin this poor kid.
Tom,
I think he's going to be
Can
good.
I make a request? Can I make a request?
Yes.
Tom, can you please buy a Larry Borum jersey?
Now, listen, that's a waste of money. Maybe I could buy like a jersey of his.
Okay.
Can I ask you to buy a jersey? Buy a Chris Greer jersey. Buy a custom jersey. Put Greer on the back. Buy that one.
Listen, the fans will throw me off the third balcony if I'm wearing a Chris Greer jersey. For Christ's sake.
Here's the deal. If you want to buy a jersey of a guy who's never going to leave, always going to be a safe jersey, just get a Liam Eichenberg jersey. This guy, he ain't ever leaving either. Get a Liam Eichenberg jersey. You wear that year after. He'll always be on the team. And you ain't got to worry about it. But I will hit you if you try to buy an Ollie Gordon jersey. You have been warned.
You need to go on live while we're in the store, and you're just going to follow me around.
Oh, I will live stream myself hitting you. Yes. And then the cops will come probably arrest us. Okay, next one. Okay, this one's a little, we know what I mean in this question. Will Miami beat a good team with a winning record? If they beat Atlanta and Atlanta finishes 9-8, and out of the playoffs, that doesn't count. We know what I mean. Will they beat Washington? Will they beat the Ravens? Will they beat the Bills? Will they beat Tampa Bay? Cincinnati? Are they going to beat a team who at the end of the year is a good team with a winning record this year? Will they win one of those games? Josh, you first.
Nope.
Aaron, you're next.
I got him beating Washington and Tampa Bay.
You do. So your answer is yes. Tom.
Yes. By hook or crook, yes.
Okay. I think they'll play a couple of them close. I don't know if they'll actually win one.
Doesn't count.
Yeah. What's that?
That doesn't count.
Okay, so it's no. My answer is no.
There it is.
Yes. Okay. Will any player on the Miami Dolphins defense, any player, I don't care if linebacker, safety, corner, have more than two interceptions this year? Josh.
Yes.
And you're probably thinking it's Minka?
Not necessarily. I was actually thinking it might be one of the linebackers.
Well, who had him last year? Oh, who was that linebacker? Tyrell Dotson had like a bunch.
Yeah, but Dotson had a bunch of them.
Yeah, he had a bunch at the end. You just found the football magnet. Aaron.
Yes, and I do think it's going to be Minka.
I would agree. I think he's the only one who could probably get us to. Tom.
Not true. Zach Sealer, baby.
Yes, let's go.
Let's go. Zach Sealer living in a van down by the river. Not anymore though. Now he's moving on up.
He's like the Jeffersons. He's moving on up.
Yeah. This question is multiple choice. Will the Miami Dolphins finish in first, second, third, or fourth place in the AFCs? And now we all can write off first.
Yes.
Because we all got them with a losing record. So the question is,
they will finish in one of those places.
Will they finish in second, third, or fourth, Josh?
I'm going to say... earlier this offseason, I predicted that they would finish second, but that was really more of an indictment of the other teams in the division than confidence in the Dolphins. But I'm going to say, just based on the narrative that I've got going on, and I see them going 6-11 on the season. I'm going to say probably the Patriots will finish with a better record than them. So give me third place for the Dolphins.
I agree with third. Aaron?
I think the Bills are the only team in the division that's going to finish with a winning record. I think the Dolphins and the Patriots are both going to finish 8 and 9.
Push.
And it's going to, I don't know. I have them splitting the season series. So who has the better division record? Who has the better conference record? They're going to lose the last game of the season. I'll say they end up finishing third.
It is in-depth analysis right there that you will not get anywhere else. The third tiebreaker Aaron's going down to. I love it. Tom, will they finish second, third, or fourth?
I just think they keep the train moving. I think they do finish second.
Okay. What's more likely? The Miami Dolphins make the playoffs or the Miami Dolphins have a top 5 pick in the draft? Josh.
I think it is more likely that they have a top 5 pick in the draft. I think that's the AFC is too good for the Dolphins with this roster to make the playoffs. So I think having a top 5 pick is much more likely.
I would agree. Aaron?
It's close because I think I see pathways to both. It's just that the pathways to the top 5 pick, we've seen those pathways. We've seen this team have an injury at quarterback consistently. We've seen them have injuries at the offensive line. And if those things happen, this team can easily be finishing as one of the 5 worst teams. For everything that they need to go right for them to make the playoffs, I think that makes that less likely. So top 5 pick, more likely.
Tom, where are you?
We're talking the Miami Dolphins here. They'll find a way to be picking 6th. Okay. They will find a way. If that's the scenario, they're going to find a way to pick between 6 and 11 because that's just what they do, right? 2019 is a prime year for that when you'd think that they would, lose the final game of the year to get that top 3 pick. Nope. Beat the Patriots.
No, we're not playing Josh Rosen.
I just think at the end of the day, I think the Dolphins are just going to have. I have 8 wins, but even if they get to 6, 7, they're probably still picking 6 through 10. I think
what's more likely?
What's more likely in this scenario is
playoffs or a top 5 pick?
I would say making the playoffs because they're not going to pick in the top 5.
Okay, that's an answer. You're on the record. Super Bowl prediction time. Who's going to go from the AFC? Who's going to go from the NFC? Josh, what's your prediction?
To the Super Bowl? Well, I'm gonna say it's the Chiefs in the AFC again. I was tempted to say Buffalo, but I'm not going to do it. Just because I think they've got their own curse going on. So I'll give me the Chiefs, and in the NFC there are so many teams all bunched together. There are so many. It's like it's a pretty tough conference, like right at the top. Give me the Eagles again. Give me the Eagles. Give me your Super Bowl rematch. Chiefs Eagles one more time.
Who's your winner? Who's your winner?
Chiefs get this one. I mean, the tight end's getting married. He's going off into the sunset.
Hold on. Don't kill the next topic. That's our last topic.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize this was on the agenda.
Yes, it is on it. Aaron, what's your Super Bowl pick?
I think this is the year that that Lamar Jackson gets the monkey off his back. Baltimore is going to the Super Bowl from the AFC, and in the NFC, look, I think there's two teams in the NFC that are clearly better than everybody in the NFC, and that's Philadelphia and Detroit. But I like Detroit this year to come out of the NFC, and Baltimore versus Detroit. Give me Baltimore to bring home the Lombardi.
We often joke that I share a brain with Aaron, and we do share a brain because that was exactly my pick. I think this is the year the Ravens, their season ended
Super Bowl Lamar.
Their season ended so bad last year with that, drop right in the end zone there, Andrews. I think they're going to be on a mission this year. I think they'll finally get past the Chiefs. And then I think the Lions, they were so hurt at the end of last year, and they were so bad on one side of the ball. They're like on defense. If they're just healthy and what they've added, I think the Lions will get there. And I agree. I think if it's the Ravens versus the Lions just got just a little more pedigree, a little bit more experience. I think they're going to be the team to win it all. And I think this is the year Lamar Jackson does get the monkey off his back and does, silence all the people who criticize him and stuff for not being able to win the big one and stuff like that. So I agree. Ravens, Lions with the Ravens. Tom?
Yeah, I can't believe none of you are picking the Saints and the Titans to go to the Super Bowl. It's crazy.
Cam Ward homer.
Cam Ward season, baby.
Let's go. I went back and forth on this for probably a few hours before jumping on here, thinking, who the hell's going to the Super Bowl this year? In the AFC, like you guys have said, it is so depth with talent. There's so much talent. There's so many good quarterbacks in this conference. And where I landed was Baltimore. I think they do get to the Super Bowl, and I think they have a shot to win it. I can't pick against Philadelphia right now because Howie Roseman's a freaking genius and how he builds his rosters, and the team is just so loaded. So I'm going to go Eagles and Ravens, and I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens to win the Super Bowl this year.
Wow, three of us.
Have we ever had a bird versus bird Super Bowl?
Bird versus bird. Well, the Eagles have played the
Eagles,
Raiders.
Falcons, Ravens.
Falcons played the Broncos. Eagles played the Chiefs and the Raiders. So no. Who are the other bird teams? Seattle played the Broncos. Seattle played the Patriots. No. Trying to think of the bird. Arizona played Pittsburgh. No. I don't think so. No.
Nope.
We need an avian-centric Super Bowl, is what I'm saying.
I want to, let's have a Raven fly toward, let's have an eagle and a Raven fly towards each other.
Yes.
And let them hit each other. And then that opens the Super Bowl. I think that'd be fantastic.
See, this is
like Monday Night Football.
It's like straight. Yes. 100%.
Yes.
It'd be like
and we can have Frank Gifford rise from the dead to do the narration. Tremendous. Let's go.
They should do the celebrity death match that MTV
celebrity death match
versions. Yeah, just
let's get it on.
Let's get it on.
Tom wants to see two birds fight before the Super Bowl. The people at Pedo have no issues with this at all. Just even talking about it, they're going to be totally, folks. This is a joke. This is humor. If you're with Pedo, we're just joking. We don't want to see two birds fighting. Birds are lovely animals. Let them fly.
Mike doesn't want to see two birds fighting. Let them fight.
Let's see it.
Let's see it. Okay, before we get to our final topic, quick shout out to everyone at finevan.com. Everyone, please be sure you go to finevan.com, largest Miami Dolphins message board on the internet. Our friends at the I Am a Miami Dolphins fan Facebook page. Here's the deal. I should have mentioned this at the top. If you are used to watching us on Facebook, we're still live on Facebook, but if you want to put up comments, go to our YouTube page. It's just so much easier right now because we got some issues going on with Facebook. So a shout out to Carlos Hernandez and everyone at the I Am a Miami Dolphins fan Facebook page. And wherever you listen, whether it's Apple Podcast, Spotify, Podbean, iHeartRadio, Audible, YouTube, subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. Last question, the big news of the week, the big news of the year, the upcoming royal wedding, Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce. You three are married. I'm not. As people who have been married for many years, what advice would you give the young couple who's about to embark on this engagement and wedding in time? Josh, what advice would you give a young couple like Travis and Taylor who are now engaged?
I think the advice that I would give to them is advice that I probably don't need to because they've got it locked down already, though it may be like once they're retired, it will be different. But you don't have to sacrifice your individuality for the pair of you together, right? You're allowed to be who you are. She's allowed to be who she is, and it's fine, right? It's okay to have your own interests, the things that you do on your own, and then also the things that you can do together. That's okay. As long as you can maintain that relationship and you find a healthy balance between all of those things, you're going to be perfect.
Like you with ice cream. You're into ice cream. You're taking pictures of ice cream. That's your individuality. You're into ice cream. You're not losing that.
That's right. Follow me on Instagram at It's Ice Cream Season, SZN. It's Ice Cream Season. You can see pictures of me with giant ice cream cones.
There you go. Aaron, what is your advice to the young couple?
My advice for any couple is communicate. When the communication breaks down, the relationship breaks down. I think that's probably especially difficult for two celebrities that are traveling all over the world. So that would be my advice to them. Best of luck to them in making that work. I give it 5 years.
But the album, after they do split up, is going to be great. And I'm not even a Taylor Swift fan, but the album's going to hit. Tom, close us out here with some advice. You're a happily married man.
Some advice. All right. So my daughter's a Swiftie. So
there you go.
I'm gonna make this fun. These two started with a blank space. They didn't have any bad blood. They didn't have a cruel summer, and they found themselves a nice love story. Sometimes you'll get in arguments, but you just got to shake it off. Travis Kelce's going to screw up one of these days, and he'll just say, hey, look what you made me do. But in the end, I wish them nothing but the best. That album is going to pop in about 5 years, and Travis Kelce will have to move to a secluded island and away from the teeny boppers going after him if he ever does anything wrong to that woman. God bless his soul.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know what he'll have to say to those teeny boppers? You need to calm down.
Yes.
What a way to end this show. Our Roundtable season preview. You know, I know some people aren't going to like our picks. They're probably going to say we're a little too negative, but folks, we keep it real here. We're just calling it like
Can
this.
I just say,
we all hope we're wrong. I mean, let's be honest.
That's
we all
it.
hope we're wrong.
Yeah, I want to be wrong. I want to eat crow.
I don't care.
I would love nothing more than that guy who's telling me to book it that the Dolphins are going to be 11-6 and AFC East division winners. Whoever the guy on Twitter that said that.
I'll take it.
I would
Josh
love
Allen must be getting hurt if they're winning the division at 11.
Hey, it worked in 2008.
Hey, I would love that. I would love that to be the case. But, you know, the bottom line is the single biggest crutch that Miami Dolphin fans will hold up when you tell them that when I say something that I think that don't think they're going to be good, I think the season's going to fall apart, blah, 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 blah. The number one thing that every Dolphin fan will tell you is if they stay healthy, ... Right? And what I would come back to that and say is you can't preface anything about the Dolphins with if they stay healthy because they can't stay healthy. They never stay healthy. They're already not healthy. You can't preface anything with if they stay healthy because they're not going to. Figure it out. Find another way. If you can get injured and find your way to 11-6, then my hat is off to you and I salute you. I would love that to happen. But I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah, the Dolphins are going to be good if they could stay healthy because they're not going to stay healthy. That's the end of that.
Yeah, I mean, because for me, I'm just going off recent track record. And if they can change that and turn it around, great. But if you want what I think is going to happen, I'm going to go off what's happened recently. Yes, they're always hurt. They always come up small. The head coach can't win a challenge. Just that. Like there's a million things that they just consistently, mess up. And until I see that change, I'm going to go off what I see. And again, we all hope we're wrong. We all root for this. Look, we wouldn't do these shows and invest the time if we didn't want to be wrong with some of this stuff. So
absolutely.
We all hope we're wrong. We want to see the team win. But if you're asking for our predictions now with this roster, how it looks on August 27th, this is it. And again, last thing, I actually forgot this real quick. Thumbs up, thumbs down. I'm going to put it on the screen on YouTube. This is leaked. It's not official. their rivals' uniform. Now, this looks official because if this ain't official, someone took a lot of time to do a lot of photoshopping to make it look official. So, on the screen, if this ends up being, and we'll know Thursday at 10 a.m. So, by the time some of you are listening to this, you're going to know if this is real or not. Let's go with the assumption this is real because it looks pretty real to me. I don't know. If that ends up being the rivals' uniform, which there's no pink in it, so it makes me happy off the bat. You like it or don't like it? Tom, I'm starting with you. You're a big uniform guy.
I love the look, because again, when you look at this, and if this is real, they're wearing this at night, so no harm, no foul. The orange pops. I love the orange on the uniform. It looks like matte black helmet.
Mm-hmm.
Take my money. Take my money. That Ollie Gordon jersey, Mike, is going to look horrific on that Monday Night Football game.
Yeah. Aaron, your thoughts? Thumbs up, thumbs down.
I do love the matte black helmet. I'm not going to lie.
Matte black helmet's pretty cool. I'm not going
to that I really like. I like that there's orange. I kind of wish there was more pink.
I like too on the shoulders. You got a little bit of aqua there too on the shoulders, I think, or on the sleeves, I should say. I guess. Yep. I kind of like that little thing because to me that makes it pop a little bit. Josh, your thoughts here on the uniforms?
So something that people who have followed me for a long time will know about me is that I hate gimmick uniforms in any way, shape, or form.
Oh yeah.
I hate them. Give me one uniform that you wear on
home and away
when you're at home and another uniform that you wear on the road. And those are your two uniforms. And maybe you have to mix and match them. Sometimes you wear the white jersey with the white pants or the white jersey with the blue pants, whatever. Give you one uniform. I hate this. It looks like every wannabe graphic designer's wet dream that he had on Facebook. Check out my cool Miami Vice concept uniform for the Miami Dolphins. And, and then they put it together and they show you some like Ersatz Miami Dolphins helmet. And it's just absolute crap. This is absolute crap, and it is nothing but let's call it what it is. It's a money grab for the NFL. We're gonna design a new jersey. We'll have the team wear it exactly one time when they're on national TV. We'll sell a million of these jerseys because listen, what do people want more than anything else aside being just the distraction of getting into football? They want to be able to throw money at their hobby, and so they're gonna go and they're gonna buy their horrifically ugly Miami Dolphins uniform. So it's a cash grab. It's going to be a successful cash grab. It is what it is.
Yeah,
I can't wait for them to take my money.
I'm with Josh on this. I'm with you. I like one home, one away. That's what you wear. But since this is forced on us this year, it's not our call per se. This is forcing us by the league. My whole thing is it could be a lot worse. And I don't it's fine. It's fine for me. It could be a lot worse. So I'm like, okay with this because I was expecting a lot worse because how they described it was it's going to invoke the city and like represent the city. I have no idea how this represents the city of Miami unless it's like a gang color. I don't know. I mean, it's just black, orange, and aqua. I don't know how this invokes the city. But okay. But it's like, I'm with you, Josh. I just like the simple traditionalist type view. But since this is forced on us, it could be worse. It's okay. If that's even true, we'll know Thursday 10.
This is perfect for our website here at Dolphins Talk. It's all our colors, baby.
Yeah.
It's our colors.
Yeah, and if they lose versus the Jets on Monday night wearing those colors, you usually wear black to a funeral. And that would be a funeral to get if they lose at home to the Jets on Monday Night Football. Yeah. All right. So that's all for this round. I know. Josh, I'm with you. That's all for this roundtable show. Thank you all for listening. We'll be back with more shows. I don't know about over the weekend. I guess it depends if there's news happening and stuff. But come Monday, it's regular season mode. And actually, I have an interview Monday because it's a holiday. Should I say who it's with? No, because someone else will steal the interview. It's a national radio pundit. We're going to preview the season. And then after that, we'll get into full season mode. You guys aren't going to have a show on Monday, right? Because the holiday or no?
Oh, we got a show coming up Monday.
You got a show Monday? Okay, so I'll probably drop mine.
We're going to be optimistic on Monday. On Monday, we're giving our optimistic view of the season.
Okay, so Josh and Aaron have a show Monday, Labor Day, Tuesday, myself and Josh Moser. I'll find a time to drop that interview I'm going to have, and then Wednesday, myself, Tom, and Marissa this year, with Ian out. Thursday, Josh and Aaron again. Friday and Saturday and Sunday. Sunday's a post-game wrap-up show most weeks, and we got some new faces as well. And there's also a new YouTube-only show that's going to be announced, I think, tomorrow. I have to talk to my co-host. It's going to be YouTube-only, a big show. It's going to drop this year. So we got you covered. So wherever you're listening, subscribe. Everyone, thank you for listening. We'll talk to you again after a while. And as always, folks, don't forget, we must put an end to highway profanity. Tom, it's you.
Fins up.
Go Dolphins!
We have a roster.